All right, let's talk about a fundamental truth of managing any project. No project exists in a vacuum. It's always surrounded by these invisible forces, this complex environment that can either help you succeed or, well, cause you to sink. So what are these forces? Let's get into it. I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You can have the absolute best people, a perfect plan, a great budget, and things can still go completely off the rails. What is that hidden variable? What's the secret sauce that makes all the difference? Well, here's the key. You've got to look beyond just the tasks and the deadlines. Real success, it comes from understanding and mastering all those forces, both inside and outside your company, that are constantly pushing and pulling on your project. So let's start with the good stuff, the things that are actually there to help you. Think of it like this. Every single organization has a kind of secret toolbox, a set of internal resources that can give your project a huge advantage right from the get-go. In the project management world, we call these organizational process assets, or OPAs for short. These are basically all the collected wisdom, the plans, the documents, and the processes that your company has built up over years. Tapping into these is your first step to not having to reinvent the wheel every single time. And these OPAs, they really break down into two big buckets. On one side, you've got the formal stuff, the rule books, the procedures, the official documents. And on the other side, you've got something that's maybe even more valuable, the organization's collective memory. This first category is like having a set of blueprints and instruction manuals ready to go. We're talking about project templates, the official way to handle changes, lists of suppliers you already know and trust, and even guidelines for how to properly close out a project. This stuff gives you structure so you can hit the ground running. Now, this second category, this is an absolute gold mine. This is the company's memory bank. It's like a treasure map showing you where other projects struck gold and where they hit traps. This is where you find all those juicy lessons learned, old financial data, and risk information that can literally save you from making the same mistakes twice. Okay, so we've got our toolbox full of assets. But what about all the stuff you can't control? That brings us to the other side of the coin. These are the powerful, unseen currents and the changing weather that you have to navigate on your project's journey. We call these enterprise environmental factors, or EEFs. Think of these as the givens. They're the circumstances you have to operate within, whether you like it or not. And here's the thing. They can be a massive tailwind pushing you forward, or they can be a serious headwind holding you back. And just like OPAs, these EEFs come in two flavors. Some of these currents are coming from inside your own company walls, while others are coming from the big wide world out there. So internal EEFs are things like your company's culture. Is it super innovative or more cautious? It could be the software everyone has to use, or the fact that your teams are spread out across the globe. As a project manager, you don't really get to change these things. You just have to work with them. Then you've got the external EEFs, which are even further out of your control. We're talking about a competitor launching a surprise product, a new government regulation that changes everything, or even just shifts in the economy. These are the waves from the outside world that can totally rock your boat. And this right here is the big aha moment. It's so crucial to get this distinction. OPAs are your internal tools. You leverage them, you use them, you can even add to them. But EEFs, those are the conditions. You don't control them, you just have to navigate and adapt to them. One is your toolbox, the other is the weather. Okay, so we've got our assets and we understand the environment. Now we need to talk about the system that pulls it all together. What are the official rules of the game inside our organization? This is what we call project governance. It's basically the rule book. It's the framework that spells out who's in charge of what, who has the power to make big decisions, and how your project will be guided to make sure it's actually helping the company meet its goals. And here's the thing, that rule book isn't just made up out of thin air. It's a direct reflection of how the entire company is built. The organizational structure, the way your company is set up, fundamentally dictates how much power and authority you have as a project manager. And this table just illustrates that point perfectly. Look over on the left. In a traditional functional setup, the project manager has pretty low authority, and the real power, especially over the budget, sits with the department heads. But then jump all the way to the right to a project-oriented structure, and suddenly the PM is in the driver's seat with high authority and control over the budget. The structure is everything. So we have our tools, we understand the weather, and we know the rules of the game. But who's making sure everyone is flying safely and playing by those rules? Well, that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the project's control tower. This is the Project Management Office, or PMO. You can think of a PMO as a central hub. Its main job is to standardize how projects are run, to share all those great tools and resources, and to make sure what you're working on actually aligns with the company's big picture strategy. They are the official keepers of all those OPAs we talked about. But, and this is important, not all PMOs are the same. They operate on a spectrum of control. Some are supportive, where they're mostly there to offer advice and templates. Some are controlling, where they enforce compliance and make sure you're following the rules. And some are directive, where they have a ton of control and are actually managing the projects themselves. But ultimately, a really good PMO should feel like your ally. They're the ones managing resources across different projects, developing the best practices you get to use, offering coaching and helping coordinate communication so everyone's on the same page. So, when you pull it all together, you realize something pretty profound. True, lasting project success, it's not just about managing a to-do list. It's about mastering this entire ecosystem, knowing your tools, navigating the currents, understanding the rules, and using the support systems that are there to help you win. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. Just take a second and apply this to your own world. What is the biggest unseen current, that one big enterprise environmental factor that's shaping the future of your project at this very moment?